Good evening, and welcome to Dan Bain's Sleepy Time Mumbles, a podcast you can miss. I am Dan Bain, and every episode I improvise a low-stakes podcast for you to fall asleep to. If you are a dedicated and persistent listener to the show, you may notice that this has come out slightly late. I apologize for that. I was going to record it last night, but I was summoned to the comedy club in order to perform stand-up comedy. And considering how well that went, perhaps I should have just stayed at home and recorded the show. Also, I did some loud shouting afterwards, and my voice is sore. Oh no, not the money maker. Nonetheless, I will do my best to get this episode out to you. I have a cup of tea and I've got my comfy pants on. So, hopefully, that'll see me through. That'll see me all the way through. I have a little sip of it now. Cozy. I'm joined in the studio this evening with my co-host, Sophie the dog, who went on a big walk this morning and now is sleepy and a little bit snuffly. So, if you hear a dog having a weird dream, that's what it is. It's not a dog in your house. Okay. But don't worry about that now. That can wait. For now, put down your phone. Turn off your screens. And close your eyes. Now it's time to be mumbled to sleep. It's season 4, episode 6. In conversation with a gentleman caller. Welcome to another iteration of the Sleepy Time Mumbles in Conversation series. A long-standing tentpole style episode, a regular feature of the podcast that props up the more whimsical content, giving it a strong journalistic integrity that otherwise might be lacking. Those with the investigative mindset, I believe, are always particularly grateful to these long-form conversations. Fans of the humanities, of course, as well. For it is in conversation that our character is truly revealed. And so too, are things also. This week I had the pleasure to have a conversation with a gentleman caller. You know, like from the South, like in a Tennessee Williams play. You know, a gentleman caller, gonna go get a job at the shoe factory, but is real happy to come over and have a chat with your crippled daughter. That kind of gentleman caller. You know, the kind I'm talking about. If they have a name, surely they do. It's probably Tom. There were less names back in the post-World War II American South. Cat on a hot tin roof. Old glass menagerie. And, you know, streetcar named Desire. All the faves of the traditional American theatre. Okay, that's enough building it up. Let's get into the call. Let's have the call. I'm gonna make the call now. Okay. Through the magic of editing, you won't have to listen to the dialing, nor the ringtones. When next you hear my voice, I'll be in conversation with the gentleman caller.
Hello?
Tom, is that you?
Why, yes. Who is calling, may I ask?
This is Dan Bain from Sleepytime Mumbles. We set up a time to have a little conversation, an interview.
What for? What is this? What is this in service of?
It's in. You remember we had a conversation about the podcast. The podcast that I do.
Oh, you're the sleep boy.
Yes, that's right. That's certainly what they know me on the streets as.
Well, that's I can certainly think of a worse moniker for a gentleman to have. But I can also, and I say this frankly, I can also think of several better ones.
Sure. You can call me whatever you like. I don't really mind. If you...
Well, I shall call you Mr. Bain, on account of that the two of us don't really have a relationship as such, and it seems a little forward and forthright to go ahead with calling you some sort of nickname or personal moniker. This is the type that a friend might call you. I don't think we're friends, sir.
No, but that's not why we're here. Of course, you call me whatever you like, that's fine. I wondered if we could start the interview, if that works for you, if this is still a good time.
Have we not already started? I'm firmly of the mindset that if a man is in a conversation with someone he does not have a strong association with, questions are being asked, then surely in some way that is an interview. Do you not agree, sir?
Sure. Yes. Okay. Cool. We've already started. Great. So I guess I'm most interested in talking about your time post World War II, but I suppose those events are in some ways influenced by the...
Just spit it out, boy. What are you trying to say?
I suppose they're kind of influenced by the time that you spent overseas serving your country. And I wondered if you had any insight into that.
What do you mean inside? That's not even really a question. You've posited a area of discussion, but from what point am I supposed to jump off with a reply? I can't just give my potted history of the entirety of my service in both European and Pacific theaters. Unless is that actually what you would like? Because I fear that will take up a goodly amount of your time. Time that is perhaps better spent discussing my work at the shoe factory.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah, I suppose the question is, did in your service time, did you gain a greater appreciation for shoes? And if so, do you think that led you to where you find yourself today?
Yes.
Okay. Would you care to elaborate at all?
You've answered your own question, boy. That's another terrible technique in terms of being an interviewer. You spend so long posing the question that by the time you actually got to the question mark of the sentence, you'd already really discussed everything that was of possible interest within the topic. All I had to then do is either confirm or negate your hypothesis. I'm confirming it. Yes, my time in the service did give me a great opportunity to observe footwear in the harshest of conditions. So yes, I do have a high interest in the being high quality, influenced by that time of my life. What else would you like to know?
No, nothing else.
On that? Well, see, that's another poor choice you've made. You gotta follow up. Don't they teach children anything these days? You gotta follow up. I answer a question, and then you take it to the next point. You go a little bit deeper into the answer. For example, what was the specific moment, Tom, that you observed this, right? Specifics. At the moment, you're working in generalities. Whereas what creates a compelling story is going into specifics. So I think, and I don't want to tell you how to suck eggs, I'm sure you have a whole heap of success with whatever it is you do. I don't understand it, and I don't pretend to, and I don't really care to. I'm sure, though, it's clearly keeping you out of mischief and off the street. And so, for that, God bless it. But otherwise, I'm surprised that, you are capable of achieving anything.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry, it seems like we've kind of got off on the wrong...
We haven't got off on the wrong foot, boy. But not at all. Not at all. It's just that you don't seem to really know what you're doing. And I'm a busy man. So, if you have, did you prepare for this interview? Did you do a little research into myself? And did you prepare some questions?
No, I didn't. I just... I just tend to wing it.
Oh. Well, that is a terrible habit. You need to get out of that immediately. Because no good comes of that.
Look, I don't want to tell you what you do or don't know, but I've been winging it for a considerable amount of time. The whole kind of premise of the show that I'm interviewing you for is that it is, well, a great majority of it is, well, the entirety of it is just winged, improvised, made up on the spot, off the top of the dome, top of the head, off the cuff, drop of the hat. You know, so I don't want to be rude, but perhaps some corrections might be due. Might need to issue some errata on this particular.
Look, son, you clearly got a gift of the gab, and I can appreciate that. But irrespective of your ability to turn a phrase in a pretty manner without planning it ahead, there are many forms that benefit from pre-planning the execution of what you're about to attempt to do, and the long-form interview is definitely one of them. You think David Frost went to interview President Nixon with just like, oh, I'll wing it. I'll wing it. I'll see what happens. No, he had a structure. He had a concept underneath the whole thing. Whereas you, sir, you're just approaching it with a lackadaisical approach, isn't it? This lazy approach. You haven't made any effort. Have you? No, sir.
Okay, well, that's unfair. I've definitely given it some thought. For example, here's a follow-up question. In the shoe business, what's your favorite part of it?
Oh, I see what you're doing. That's good. That's a good. See, you're getting the idea of the whole establishment here now. You meant to ask small questions that I can elaborate on. What is my favorite part of the process of making a shoe? I think probably for me it's the adhesion of the upper onto the sole. That's the moment where it becomes a shoe, truly. You just got two separate parts, two separate discrete items. But on that moment of connection, when you join the two of them together, when the sole meets the upper, when the upper meets the sole, then only then suddenly you got yourself a shoe. That's it. That's a shoe you've made. That's not just two separate components. It's not just a piece of rubber and a piece of leather that have both been shaped. They got their specifics, they got their specificities, of course. But now, when you join them together, when you thread them, glue them, bring them together, obviously put it in, soul in, but that's not the important part. When you join those two parts together, that's the magic. That's when it becomes more than the sum of the parts, right? Becomes a new thing. Becomes a shoe.
Out of curiosity, do you wear your own shoes that you've kind of made yourself, or shoes that come off the? I mean, is there a? Sorry, I'm doing the thing again. extemporizing too further into the question, and as we all know, that means there's less room for you to give your own answer. It's effectively an open and closed question because I've done the detail myself. Because I love the sound of my own voice.
That's right, boy. That's why. That's why you do it. That's very astute. That's very self-aware. There's a great understanding of who you are as a person. And not just that, but also what's wrong with you as a person. So, my congratulations to you. Now, in answer to your question, do I only wear shoes that have been made by me? Yes, only wear shoes made by myself. Why? Because I can only trust myself in this world. And that when that narrows down to what I'm good at, which is making footwear, I'm like, okay, I can trust myself to make my own footwear. And also I can trust myself to get to work on time, keep myself fed, make sure the dog goes outside. These are the things that I rely on myself to do. I make my bed in the morning. Some people don't make, I make my bed in the morning. That's how I know I'm still alive when it's time to go to bed at night. I get in a freshly made bed every night. And by the time I get in it, I forgot that I made it in the morning. So it's like someone else made it. It's like I'm getting hotel service, room service. Please make up this room. It's like I hung a little wooden cardboard sign on the door handle and said, please make up this room. Someone's made up the room on my behalf for me. I love that. Because as I said, by the time I get to bedtime, I'm a different man from whom I was in the morning. I'm a totally different man. What's up?
Hey, that feels really wise in its own way. Thanks. Hey, what do you reckon about the girl with the club foot? Do you reckon that's a goer or probably not? Hey. Okay. Sorry, that was a bit personal. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us on the show.
That's not a problem. I'll do it anytime. Or we could make 100 of these episodes.
I'm not sure they're that popular.
Well, you know your business, son. So, anytime you might need me, you just let me know.
Okay, well, I will. I'll do that. Thank you. And I feel like we've really all learnt a lot today, so thanks very much.
You're welcome. Good night.
And good night to you. There was Season 4, Episode 6 of Sleepy Time Mumbles, Conversations with a Gentleman Caller. Sleepy Time Mumbles is produced by Noosed Octopus and produced by Noosed Octopus, but written, man, it's not written, presented and invented by me, Dan Bain. You can follow the show on the internet through many possibilities, but no longer Twitter, because it is the worst. So I'm not on it no more. But there are many ways to follow the show, and they're all clickable in the show notes. If you want to subscribe to the show, you get every episode that has ever been released. If not, that's cool too. You still get 50 episodes. That's a lot of episodes. Until next time, though. Good night. Sleep tight.